Good morning, everyone. It's Sam from Raggedy Bits. Welcome back to Waste Not Wednesday. If you see the little live button up the top here, the little red button, that means you're watching me live. If not, don't forget to comment #replay because I absolutely love hearing from where you are tuning in from. All right, so while I'm waiting for everybody to jump on in, I'm just going to quickly recap. Just make sure I'm not crooked. Just going to quickly recap what we did last week for Waste Not Wednesday. We took this little old sifter, this vintage sifter, and we added a few little spooky elements, including the little free printable that I've got at the top here. We just mounted that onto some cardstock and we popped that into the back of the sifter, and we just made this really cute little vignette and added a little doily, little grubbied up doily, and some black sprigs and little bottle brushes and all the spooky goodness. And then I just embellished the front there with a little 31 tag. So we were busy last week. We actually got to make 2 projects, and then we took the other 3 free printable and we made this little spooky happy Halloween frame. We just painted that in Dixie Belle chalk paint in the black, distressed it, and then gave it a little bit of clear wax to seal, and I've popped the glass back in. That's why we're getting a little bit of reflection on the glass. All right, so that was just a very quick recap for last week's projects. If you want to go back and watch those, I've moved the video. It's still on Facebook at the moment, but I have moved it over to YouTube. All you need to do is just comment link, and a little message will pop up, and the link will be in there for the YouTube video, so you can go and watch that at any time, because as we know, good old Facebook, sure I'm staying on top of that when we do Waste Not Wednesday. All right, technical side of things, I'm just going to quickly make sure that I get that sorted so that you guys can get those links and any of the goodies that I use. Good morning, Chris. How are you this morning? It's a bit chilly this morning, although it's a beautiful day. What's it like in your neck of the woods? All right, so I have got this Thrifted Home Sweet Home over it. Oh dear, I've dropped out. Hopefully I'm back, guys. Sorry if I just went away. Hopefully my internet's not going to do anything silly. Yes, I just noticed that, Chris. I think I'm back. I hope I'm not... the internet's not going to be silly. Good morning, Michelle. Hope everything's okay. Just let me know in the comments if it does anything stupid. The joys of the internet. All right, so I'll go over that again just in case you guys didn't hear any of it. We're working on this little Home Sweet Home Thrifted sign. Yvette picked this up for me while I was unwell. She's been my little thrifter. She's been amazing. She's over at Adorable Reese. She's one of the booth holders in the Emporium, and she's been out every week while I've been crook thrifting for me, which is so sweet. And she picked up this Home Sweet Home sign. I know it's back to front, but it's very cute, but it's got scratches all over it, and it just needs a little bit of a zhuzh. So what I thought we would do, and you guys are going to have to help me because we've got a few choices to make this morning. I'm going to be using the Paint Inlay, the IOD Paint Inlay Ditzy Blooms. So I don't know if you guys, hopefully you guys can see that okay. And because it's spring, I thought we'd take a break from Halloween and just do something springy with some flowers. So we're going to have to choose what colors and which inlay we're going to use. So this is our sign. I thought we could go, this is the Fusion Conservatory. So it's a really pretty green, which I thought would go with any of these paint inlays. I'll pick out 2 so we don't, I'm not going to confuse you all. And then I thought we could use this one, this paint inlay, which I thought would look really pretty on the sign. So we'll just call this the rose one. Or I thought, what was the other one that we thought we could do? This one, which I thought was pretty cute. So obviously if we use this one, we're going to just have to go like a white paint. I thought that would look the nicest. So we'll just call this flower, because we've got rose and flower. So you guys let me know in the comments which way we're going to go. So will we use the flower inlay, which is, it's like a red flower on it, or a pinky mauvey sort of color on it, or will we use rose? You guys let me know, and we're going to put it on this side. And obviously, whichever paint inlay we decide to go with will depend on which color paint we use. Because I thought the conservatory would go really nicely with the rose. If you guys can see, hopefully you guys can see that. It's so pretty. I thought we could go that, and then I think we just keep this very simple and just go with the fusion casement, which is just white. So I'm going to let you guys pop that in the comments and make a decision for me. You guys I'm seeing both roses. Good morning, Julie. How are you? You guys all coming through with the roses. Perfect. All right, so that's 3 roses. So what we're going to do is give this a quick coat of paint. There's obviously going to be, there's a lot of nook and cranny, so it could take me a while, but we'll persevere. So all I have done is I've cleaned this so far, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a scuff sand. And I'll just show you the other ones on the back of this, just so you get an idea of what else is in this. So these here are all the different inlays that you get inside the pack. So they're really, really pretty, really pretty. And I haven't used this inlay before, so I'm excited to use it. So if you do want any of the links to the supplies that I use, just comment spring or links, and that will pop up in your inbox for you. Okay, I'll get these out of the way. And let's get painting. Put down a little bit of my baking paper. So if we're going to go with the dainty rose, we will go in with the conservatory, which is a really pretty green. Good morning, Belinda. How are you? Yes, I think everyone's going with the rose. Let's get the rose on. All right. So you guys are going to have to talk amongst yourself because this could take a while. Oh, hang on a minute. Please hold. I didn't scuff sand. I always like to just scuff sand things before I paint them, just to create some teeth on the whatever I'm working on, even if it's furniture, just because it just, yeah, as I said, just creates a bit of teeth for the paint to grab a hold of. So I'm just using my little gator sponge, and this has got a bit of a shiny surface to it, so yeah, you don't want it to be too shiny, otherwise you're gonna have problems with your paint adhering. So I'm just gonna give that a bit of a scuff sand. Have you guys been busy creating since we last chatted? Last Wednesday for Waste Not Wednesday. And I don't know if you guys can see, probably not. These were the projects that we worked on last week. There's a little sifter and a little frame behind me, which I showed before, and hopefully my internet was behaving when I was doing that, because I did see your comments, Chris, that it was freezing up. All right, so I've given that a scuff sand. I'm just going to take my rag, and I'm just going to wipe that down, get rid of any sanding residue, and I'm just going to go ahead now. Look at that beautiful green. Isn't it gorgeous? I love it. I love it. And I'm just going to go to town and I'm going to paint it. So it's going to be a bit fiddly. And I am going to have to paint inside because I've just gone inside each of the lettering. But depending on how I go, I might leave some of that and do it off screen, because I have to go into the Emporium today, so I need to make sure that I'm not late for work. Otherwise, that would be bad. That would be very frowned upon. Normally, the girls would be in there today, but Yvette and Tanya have got things on, so they'll be in tomorrow. So I've got to go in and get the doors open and to continue getting ready for our Spooktacular market, which is coming up on the 4th. which is exciting. Okay. So this is gonna, yeah, it's gonna be a lot because there are a lot of little nooks and crannies. So a bit of spray paint may have been a better option, but anyway, I'll just do what I can, and then I'll come back and touch it up off screen because as I said, there's a lot. But look at that beautiful green, isn't it gorgeous? Similar color, it is too. I didn't even realize that. Good spot, Michelle and Belinda. It is very similar to my jumper. That's funny. If you can hear the jingle jangles, I think that's Licorice. Yes, that's my cat, Licorice, running around. She always seems to get the zoomies on Waste Not Wednesday. Maybe because she's looking at me going, Mum, why are you talking to yourself? She's a crazy cat. She's a funny cat. Speaking of cats, my poor daughter, who is now 21 weeks pregnant, lost her. She's just recently moved into a new house, and her little cat TJ, he's a little mischief maker, decided to go MIA for I think it was about 5 days, and he's come back. So, and it looks like I think he may have got himself trapped inside someone's shed maybe, or like because he'd lost a lot of weight, the poor little thing, and had dirt all over his, he's like a little black and white cat, and he had dirt all over his nose. So I'm so relieved that he came home, because my poor daughter, she was so distressed, so distressed. But yeah, he's home safe now. But gosh, I know like both these cats are inside cats, and I do let them outside occasionally, but I worry about, them running away and all that sort of stuff, because they become part of the family. So mine are they're just tabby cats. They're just, I didn't save them. My husband did from the pound, and he actually gave them to me for Valentine's Day I think 2 years ago. And it was funny because he was only going to go in and get one cat, and he came home with two. He came home with two, so that was funny. So they've definitely become a very cherished part of the family. Yes, he was a poor little dude. He looked a little bit disheveled, but I think very grateful to be home. Cheeky little thing. She's got two cats as well, and he's the mischief maker out of the two of them. So yeah, it's not nice. Not nice. And I know everybody's not cat people, but I was never allowed to have cats as a child because my mum is highly allergic to them. So I think I was a bit of a rebel when I moved out, and I was like, I've got to get a cat. I've got to get a cat. And I've just had a cat ever since. So, yeah. Are you guys dog or cat people? No, you can't just have one. No, because we'd not long lost our beautiful cat Lily. So, and we were both devastated because she was, she used to follow Simon around in the yard and, become a really good mate. So it was hard on both of us. And yeah, so it was a bit of a shock when he came home with both of them. I remember just standing there just going, what, two? It's like, oh my gosh. And I just fell in love. So yeah. And they're both crazy cats. Both got very different personalities. Because when we first got Licorice, she was very, very timid and very, very shy. And Socks was, she was out there. She was crazy. Like she's very, very cuddly, very, you know, I'm the boss, but the roles have reversed. So now Licorice is the boss and Socks is the quiet little timid one. So it's really interesting how that sort of transpired. But yeah, Licorice has definitely come out of her shell, which is funny. It's funny. It's funny to watch. I have a cat, Poppy. She is the brat cat from hell. Oh gosh, aren't they funny? Oh, she's ungrateful. Oh, Michelle, you have 2 dogs and 3 cats. Wow, you prefer cats? Yeah, I've had a dog before, Matilda, and various other puppies. And I do adore dogs, but yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know if I had to, you know, had to choose again, I would think I would still choose cats. I think because like you, Michelle, I'm a bit of an animal lover. I do love animals. Belinda's a dog lover. Yes, and you have the most cutest little puppy dogs ever. Okay. I've got basically the first coat down on the top. I've like seriously done, like it's going to take this will be a lot of fiddling around. So I might do this, as I mentioned, off screen, because I don't want you guys sitting here watching me paint all the little divots inside each letter, because there's a lot, because the whole thing's sort of joined together. So I might come back and do that off screen so I don't bore you guys to tears. All right, I'm just going to dry that off, and then we're going to apply the inlay, and I shall hold it up for you. That's a really beautiful green. Oh wow, Chris! So you've got Gabby the Labby, and wow, 9 chickens. Oh, Labradors are beautiful. That's what my old dog was. She was a Labrador crossed with a greyhound. So she had the big Labrador head and the long skinny back greyhound back. Most funniest dog, really nice. So you're the person, Michelle, you're that person. No, I'm the same. I'm the same. That's funny. All right, so that's our first coat. It's definitely going to need a second coat because I can see brush strokes. But what a pretty colour. I absolutely adore this colour. Absolutely adore this colour. A groodle. What on earth is a groodle? I've not heard that. That's got to be a cross between something. So you've got a stand. So I'm assuming it's a cross with something, and it's a poodle. Wow, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that breed, Michelle. You have to tell. You have to tell. All right. I'm going to go down with a second coat. I'm going to grab my paint inlay. And of course it's not going to fit. I was hoping that we could do this in one swoop, but it's not. So what I will do is we will put the inlay down, and then I'll use this second piece to do this tiny little piece over here. Or I might even use this up here to sort of match up on that side. That's what I think we might do. And I've just realised something, girls. I don't think I have my top coat here. This could be fun. We might be putting it straight into the paint, because I tend to like... How did I not bring any top coat home? Uh-oh. Oh, that's an epic fail. All right. Well, we were going to embed this into paint because I like doing it in the clear coat for some reason. I don't know. I just like it. But you can also do it into paint. So if you know, just say for instance, wanted to go straight onto wood, you could do that with the top coat, or you could use paint, which I'm going to show you in a minute. All right, so we need to go a little bit thicker than you normally would, so that the inlay's got something to embed itself into. So you don't want to go too thick, but you don't want to go too thin. For those who have not used a paint inlay before, let me know in the comments, have you used a paint inlay before or not? Is this the first time you've seen them? A golden retriever cross poodle. Oh, you're going to have to send me pictures. How adorable. Oh my goodness. So I'm just going on a little bit thicker than I normally would. How adorable. I can only imagine how sweet he looks. He or she. All right. Now I've got to move quickly because I don't want the paint to dry. Otherwise, the paint inlay will not adhere, because you need something for it to stick in, like to glue on, adhere to. So I'm going to line that up, drop it, and then I'm just going to run my hand over the sign. And I'm going to remove the excess so that I don't do anything silly, so I can use that in another project. You can use these paint inlays up to, 3 to 4 times, depending on your application. But obviously each time that you use it, it will, the paint will, it'll be a little bit dull. Because each, let me start this again. I'm trying to get out too much information and my brain's just going, yeah, don't speak. So, this is paint on the other side of the inlay. And then once you put it into your medium, so that might be paint or a top coat. In this case, we're using paint. And I'm just going to put a little bit more down there. And then I'm going to show you how to get the image onto the sign. I'm going to have to just cut that off a little bit because there's a little bit of a border around each. And I'm going to do my best to match it up. Doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, I'm just going to go that way. All right, so I've got that on. And now I'm going to take my little spray bottle and I'm going to spray it. And like so. And then I'm just going to grab a Chuck's cloth and I'm just going to wet it. And then I'm just going to, so this is what it looks like. And you'll notice that it changes color. So you know that you've hit it with water, but I'm just going to use the Chuck's cloth and I'm just going to gently go over. And you've got to make sure this is damp because you don't want to obviously rip the paper. And you don't want to get any water on the back of the inlay because that will make your inlay run. And I'm just going to run over the top to make sure I've got complete adhesion onto all of the wood of the sign. I'll hold it up for you in a minute. And you will get crinkles. You can also use a brayer to sort of flatten them out, but I like the texture when it crinkles up because it makes it look a little bit more aged and vintagey. Both are boys. Poodle is 7 and Groodle, that is the funniest name. It's cute. 2. So they're really good pals then. They're really good pals. If they're annoying the crap out of each other, they must be good pals. Good friends. Okay. All right, so once I'm happy that I've got that adhered, So this is what we're looking like. And I'm going to dry it with my heat gun. Normally, if I wasn't doing a tutorial, I would just set this aside and just let this naturally dry, usually about 10 minutes or so, and you'll notice that the paper starts to go white again. So you'll know that it's dry. So, but I'm going to, obviously, because we don't like sitting and watching paint dry, do we, girls and guys? So I'm going to dry this off with my heat gun. We just have to play some elevator music while this is drying. But you'll see, I don't know if you guys can see, you'll see the colour of the paper is starting to turn white again. Okay, so I want to make sure that is completely dry so that you guys can see. It's a bit crispy, so you'll know that it's dry. So now what we're going to do is peel it off, and it's going to leave behind, hopefully, if I've done everything correctly. Well, that's just a little bit wet still there, so I'm just going to dry that off. This is just the best way. Like, I know there's 1,000 videos out there that show you how to put paint inlays. This is just the best way I've found. You guys may have a better way, but yeah, this is just since I've started using them when they first came out. So now what we're going to do is just, I know it defeats the purpose, we're wetting it again, but this is just going to help us take off the inlay. So let me just get a hold. There we go. So I'll hold it up and I'm just going to start peeling back. Look at that. Ooh. Just gonna, and every time you feel it sort of grabbing, I'll just wet the whole thing so you guys can actually see it properly. Don't wet it too much like I just did there. It's kind of like a happy medium. You've got to find the happy medium. And then, let's start again. I'm holding this awkwardly. So, you just peel that back. Look at that. Hang on, I need to swap hands. What are we stuck on? Sorry girls, I've got to turn it around. We're stuck on something. There we go. Just gently, gently, gently. And as soon as you feel it like grabbing, just wet it again and pull off. And you want to let that sit facing up so you'll be able to use that again if you wanted to. The thing that you've got to be mindful of though is because there's bits of green from the paint, that will also come out on your next project. So, but you know, like you can have so much fun with the different layers of paint and the inlays as well. So they're so much fun to use. Like I wish I had time to use them more often. I'll just get this last little bit up. Okay. Absolutely love that, how that turned out. What do you guys think? And I will take a photo of this, obviously, once I get it all sorted. So pretty, so pretty. And I know it's back to front, I'm sorry, but the photo will at least be around the right way. So now to seal this, you've got to be super duper careful. Look how nice and messy the back is. That's going to need to get a paint too. So you do need to seal this because obviously this is paint. So I'm going to just dry this off. And make sure it's absolutely 150% dry. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Belinda. Thanks, guys. Definitely a good combination, the conservatory and this particular paint inlay. Yeah, so you want to make sure that that's definitely dry. So sweet. I love it. I might have to keep this myself. I desperately need stock for the shop, so this will be making it back to the Emporium. So now, normally, as I said, but Silly Sam has left her top coat at work. It's probably because of the majority of my projects that I've been doing while I've been sick. I've just used wax, so I've not needed the top coat. But you know what I'm going to try? I'm going to try the decoupage to seal it. It's the same, so it's exactly the same sort of principle that I would use if I had the top coat here at home, but I don't. So let's do this instead. I have also seen creators use the Dixie Belle spray wax. I have not personally tried that, but this technique is the best way I've kind of found to seal off the paint inlays on furniture, little projects like this. Yeah, it's just in my opinion. Nope, that's not top coat, that is black paint. All right, so now I'm going to take that wet Chucks cloth. I'm going to make sure it's damp, and I'm also going to, if it was using top coat, I would water it down 50-50, but I'm going to just do the same to the, use your words, Sam, use your words, to the decoupage, which is basically a Mod Podge. So it will act as a sealer, and I'm just going to create a little puddle, and I'm just going to mix that up. So I always use 50-50 with water. And this sort of process is a little bit labor intensive, but you have to do it, because if you go to just wipe your top coat straight over the top of it, you're going to smear it, and it's going to wipe off all that goodness that we just put on there. So taking my wet Chucks, I'm just going to dab that into, so it's almost like an inky sort of consistency. I'm going to dab that into, hopefully you guys can see okay. Just going to dab that into the top coat, and I'm now just going to dab all over the sign to seal it in. Actually, that needs a little bit more water. And we're unfortunately going to have to do this 3 times. I like to do it 3 times, and then you're able to kind of like go, like just wipe over the top of it, and you'll see no paint inlay on your Chucks cloth. So cute. I love this color with this. It's gorgeous. So don't forget to comment link or spring if you would like any of the supply list of everything that I have used, and also the link back to last week's projects, which will take you to YouTube just to see how I made the little sifter if you missed that in the background there, the little Halloween one. I just thought I would change things up a little bit and do something for spring, because it's spring here in Australia. For all my American friends, you've probably already figured that out. You guys are going into your winter, and we're going into our summer/spring. Spring first, Sam, spring. All right, so now I'm going to dry that off. Good morning, Kaz. Yes, it does match my top. I didn't do that on purpose, I promise. That was a fluke. Absolute fluke. The lovely Kaz is one of our booth holders in the Emporium, and I'm so excited because she moved away, I don't know how many months ago now, and she's coming up for the spectacular market. So I'm excited to see her because it's been a very long time. Yeah, so good. It's good. It's going to be good. I'm going to have fun. All right, so I just need a little bit more of that 50-50 potion of the decoupage and water. So it's like, yeah, it's more probably on the watery side than inky. That would be probably the best way to describe it. And we're just going to repeat that process. Sorry, I'm doing the tapping and I can hear all my dishes in the cabinet in my buffet and hutch doing the as I'm doing it. I hope you guys can't hear it. It's funny. But it just goes to show you, like I see so many of these signs in the thrift shop, and yes, they were like you see them everywhere, but this just gives it a different, unique look. I love it. Almost 4 months. Has it been that long? Oh my Lord. Wow. Wow. That's been a long time, Kaz. You won't recognise your booth. I don't know whether I'll hold it up in a minute, but there's lots of yummy crackling happening. It's delicious. Okay, so that was our second go. We just need to do this one more time. One more time. So I don't know if it's picking up the crackle. I think it was about here. It's looking good. I love it. So beautiful. That was a bit tacky. I need to just keep drying that for a little bit longer. And we're going to repeat. And this will be the last and final time that we do this little step. But it's important because, you know, otherwise, as I said, if any water or anything gets onto your unsealed paint inlay, it'll just come off because it's paint and it's not sealed. So it's important to do this part. And you can have so much fun, like putting them on furniture, little projects like this. So much fun. Okay, so you can see there's nothing coming off my cloth now, which is good. That's what we want. I'm going to dry this off. Okay, so that's where we're at. Oops, this way. Super cute. Super, super cute. So now you come along with, and then you seal again. So you just basically then, oh, this is going to be a little tricky because we've got all the little curves, and I'm just going to wipe the sealer over the top. And I'm not getting anything on my cloth, which means we've sealed properly. That's what we want. and we're not taking any of that inlay with us. And we're done. Try that off. I absolutely love how this turns out. What do you think, girls and guys? All right, so that's where we're at. Obviously, like if I was doing this off the video, I would be letting each step dry naturally. You can come along and like distress the edges, which I think I'd probably do, but I've got to fix up the back, and I've got to go in here and sort out the inside of each of the letters because I've left half of them unpainted. But that's going to take a little bit. That's going to be really fiddly, especially in here with where the M is. I mean, you can't really see it when I'm holding it straight on, but yeah, there's a little fiddly bits to do. How far away am I from I am so lucky and so grateful. I am like literally live, I think it's 14 minutes to the Emporium. So I'm very lucky. Chris, it doesn't take me very long to get to and from work, which is good, which I'm very grateful for. How clever are other people that I know. They're the girls from Iron Orchid Designs, the two sisters. They are so crazy talented with what they do, and I'm a very proud IOD stockist here in Australia. So I was one of the very first, which is lovely. It was back before we even had a distributor here in Australia. I was ordering directly from them. So it's been a while. So. And we've had lots of different fun projects over the years. All right, guys. Well, I need to make a move so that I'm not late for work. But I will take a photo of this, and obviously I'll fix up all the bits on the inside, and I'll paint the back. And I'll take a photo and I'll post it here on my page so you guys can have a look a little bit closer up. And I am going to distress sort of around the outside just a little bit, not too much. Just to kind of like, I probably need to get a thicker grit bit of sandpaper, but just to distress it a little bit, and I can get into like all the nooks and crannies, but it's still very tacky, so I do want to let this sit for a little while because, you know, as I mentioned, I'm pushing the product to sort of do it on a live video, whereas if I was in a workshop in the Emporium or doing it at home by myself, I would let each step dry kind of naturally. Also, you know, honestly, sometimes I do speed it up with the heat gun because, you know, we all want our projects done and dusted. So, yeah, so it's just up to you. But, like, I'm touching that now. It's still very tacky, so that means that underneath, all the layers aren't dry properly. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to clock off, and I will see you next week for Waste Not Wednesday. Thank you so much for keeping me company. And if you would like the supply list to anything that I've used today, just comment spring, and that list will be sent straight to your messenger. All right, guys. You have a wonderful Wednesday and the rest of the week, and thank you so much for keeping me company. Bye. Big hugs. Bye.